Suggestive ordering is our newest feature that uses predictive analytics to dynamically suggest inventory items and quantities for you to order each week. You can optimize your inventory levels and reduce waste with this new add-on feature. You'll see both names suggestive ordering and dynamic pars throughout this presentation and in your account. So just know those are interchangeable. Let's get started. First, here's how it works. First, we will turn on the feature and start to collect your historical sales data. This will generate an item demand for each product that is set up. This in turn sets a dynamic par or suggested order for that item. And we know this will help you optimize your ordering and reduce waste. You will start the suggestive ordering process by taking 2 steps. First, you will set up specific configurations on the items you would like to start with. We recommend starting with just a few while you're getting the hang of it. Over the next few weeks, the system will learn your configurations, compare those to the sales data, and start to suggest par levels. Second, you will set up sales forecasting. This is a weekly task that is done in the HQ or locations page. By telling us your forecasted sales for the upcoming weeks, the algorithm will start to learn your system better. These predictions are helpful if you're anticipating an outlier day like a big sports event or a holiday closure. Let's start with setup. To set up the configurations of an inventory item, you will go to Inventory, Inventory Items. You can then search for your product. I'm going to choose to set up alfalfa. You click into the item, and you will now see the Suggestive Ordering tab over on the right. You can click into it and click Activate to get started. Always start here at the bottom right corner with which location or locations these specific configurations are for. If multiple locations share the same delivery days and configurations, go ahead and set them up together. If they are different, we'll want you to set up each location at a time. We'll click the checkboxes that we want to get started with and go ahead and set up the configurations. We are using a sales-only calculation model, meaning we're tracking your sales and consumption on sales to give you suggested pars. Next, you're going to choose your calculation period. This is the number of historical weeks of sales data the algorithm should take into account when suggesting an order amount. We suggest at least 3 weeks as a starting point to avoid outlier days. Next, you can set a minimum and maximum par. These are optional ranges that you can set if you would like to always order a min or max amount. Remember to think about shelf life of a product when setting these. We'll skip over buffer percentage for just a second and move to consider stock when ordering. This is checked by default. You can decide if you would like the algorithm to consider what you currently have on hand for this product when suggesting your next order. You should also consider shelf life here. For example, let's say you get fresh pastries delivered every morning. You should be logging waste on these at the end of the day, but that is sometimes forgotten. Unchecking this box will ensure that the next day's delivery does not include your current on-hand value. Lastly, and most importantly, is the par level by day and buffers. This configuration determines the quantity of your next order based on the number of days until your next order. You should check the box of days that you get deliveries for this product. Then enter the buffer or amount of days of inventory needed until that next delivery date. If I choose Monday and Thursdays as my delivery days for this product, then I would type in the average number of days until my next delivery. So from Monday to Thursday, that's 3 days. From Thursday to Monday, that would be 4 days. However, this is where we can edit configurations to match what you know more specifically about your sales. If the shelf life of a product is really good, or you tend to run out of products more quickly, we may want to change these buffer days to something like 4 and 5. This will add on more availability of this product. Let's say you'd rather have 3.5 days. MarketMan does not allow you to add a decimal in this field. Instead, that's what this buffer percentage allows here. We can choose a 50% buffer to then add on 0.5 to this buffer day field. These buffers, in conjunction with your sales, consumption, and forecasting, will be working together to suggest a par level for you. As you're running tests on your suggested pars, this is where we can make changes if needed. Each item has very specific needs, delivery dates, and configurations, also shelf life. So it's important that they are set up per item. Once you've set up the items you plan to use, we can go ahead into our next step, which is adding your sales forecasting on a weekly basis. We'll go ahead and save this here and head to Orders, Suggestive Ordering. You can do this here at the HQ or at the location level. This page, on the configurations page, you will see a cheat sheet of all the minimum and maximum pars you have set up. This is a really good way for you to be able to tell which locations and which products you've set up configurations for. If you'd like, you can click in and edit the min and max pars for your products directly right here. The most important part of this page, though, is going to be this Actions button. When we click Actions, we'll see two different tabs here: Sync Status and Forecasting Sales. Sync Status is a log of the last date each location sales have synced. This is a good way for us to double check, are our sales syncing properly on the date we needed each and every day? If there's an issue, we'll want to loop in your CSM to make sure we have these last synced properly. The weekly task is getting into forecasting sales. This forecasting sales allows managers to predict sales on a weekly or daily basis. It's very important that about once a week, someone comes in and adds a forecast for each day of the week upcoming. You can do this for weeks in advance. Predictions like this are helpful to expect any outlier days. For example, a big sports event, which will increase sales, or a holiday closure. Once the sales for the day have closed, the actual sales number will then be entered and populated from your POS system. Now that we've set up configurations and we've set up our weekly sales forecasting, we can look at what it looks like to place an order. To do that, we'll log into the specific location that we want to place an order at. Just as we would place any other order, we'll go to Orders, Place Orders. We'll see the new tab, Suggestive Ordering, here at the top, and we'll want to go ahead and select our supplier once our supplier list pops up. If you have any regular pars set, you will see those in black here on the page. Once we've selected the toggle to turn on our dynamic pars, any specific item that has configuration set up in it will show in blue. And this is the order that is being suggested, and we'll choose our delivery date. Once I have my delivery date set, I can come in and click Actions, Fill to Dynamic Par, and then OK. Anything with an on-hand level below the suggestive par will fill to the shopping cart. Here we can see this had 0, that my suggested par was 4, so that filled to the shopping cart. However, anything that's above our suggested par will not be filled to the shopping cart, just like regular pars. This shopping cart works just like any other order. We can click in, remove any, add any based on what we know our needs are. We can click in and remove an entire product just by Xing out. And most importantly, we'll want to click into our supplier details with the pencil to double check, are we sending this to the correct email? And do we have the proper delivery dates and cutoff time set up? Suggestive orders do play into the delivery dates, so we want to make sure those are accurate in our supplier details. Then you can scroll down, add any comments, and go ahead and send your order off to your supplier. With suggestive ordering, we recommend starting with products that you order regularly, about 1 to 2 times a week. We know this is going to be an awesome feature for you to save a ton of time while ordering because we help suggest what you need, and it will also help save you money as overordering can cause a ton of waste.